Hey guys, Wrestling Throwdown here. I'm Haley and this is Joe, and we are going to talk about Raw last night. For Raw, for me, I mean, me and Joe talked a little bit about it a few minutes ago, but it was good in the beginning and it was great at the end. But the matches, I mean, the backstage segments were pretty good too, but the matches itself were just kind of lackluster, except for obviously like the Dolph Ziggler versus Seth in the main event, obviously. But other than that, and the Dean Ambrose match was good too. But other than that, these were just kind of like throwaway matches, and they were just pretty much to just kind of like get feuds continuing going. And some of these people who won, I don't even know why they won. Like
Tyson Kidd.
a little bit, but shoot, who was it? Fernando from Los Matadores. Like I don't get why they're like getting pushed now, but we'll talk about that later. But for right now, I do think it was solid just because of, we had obviously a good solid face turn, and we had some good feuds moving up, and obviously Vince McMahon returned, so that was awesome too. So, Joe, your thoughts?
The one moment I really did want to see, they put on WWE Network for free this month. I still haven't subscribed. I almost did last night, but then I kind of hope we sneak that in at the end of this review. What happened on the WWE Network?
Yeah.
It's obvious. So
we can actually talk about it during like the Sheamus and Tyson Kidd if you want, or we can fit it in at the end, whatever works for you.
Steer me the course.
Alrighty. So starting off, Vince McMahon, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon come out, and they talk about the whole November is the WWE Network is free for the whole month of November, which is awesome. I mean, they're trying to obviously get more people. So if people were obviously kind of and they didn't know if they should buy it or not. I feel like the main thing is either people don't have like the systems that it provides, or like that. I feel like that's the problem. I don't really think it's more like the price. I feel like it's like the systems that it's. I don't know though. That's just my opinion. And
It's a fair point. A lot of people still watch television, specifically on television, not through PS3 or 4 or Androids or devices of that matter. So it's a fair point, especially to older viewers.
Yeah. And then Vince starts talking about power and everything like that. And he then makes a stipulation for the match at Survivor Series. He pretty much says if the Authority loses, they lose power. And all I can think of is that Brad Maddox has been kind of appearing in the app, the WWE app, and I'm just like, I wonder if either he's going to be, I'd rather him be a wrestler, but anything to get him back on TV. I was like so excited when I seen that. But I don't know, we'll see, because I don't know, I have a feeling that maybe they might lose just because this angle has gone way too long. Like it's gone past like a year now. So it's getting boring. It really is. And there's nothing really more you can do to it.
Yeah. One can make the argument it should have ended when Bryan beat Hunter at WrestleMania.
Yeah. I mean, they obviously did decent work with it and everything, and it was fine, while it lasted. But now it's just kind of like Triple H and Stephanie, the whole villain thing, and it was so funny because Stephanie actually said that on Total Divas. I've been watching Total Divas. I've been catching up last week, and she actually said, "Oh yeah, I'm playing a villainous character right now," and she like winks at Brie. I'm just like, are they even allowed to say that? Like. I mean, I know everyone thinks obviously everyone knows that they're in character. Well, I know there's still some people who actually think it's real, but it's just like I'm actually surprised that they can actually admit that because they don't admit that in interviews usually and stuff. So I just thought that was interesting that they admitted it on the show when the show's supposed to be scripted.
Yeah, it's breaking the fourth wall a little bit. It's the frustrations of Total Divas. It really is. You think they'd have that covered, but
Yeah. And so he pretty much says they will be in No More Power, and obviously they're shocked and everything that because Vince is obviously the baby face, and then they're both heels. I just think it's kind of funny. And so Dean Ambrose then comes out, and he gives a handshake to Vince, and he gets in the ring. So then there's a little backstage segment that Vince says, "Oh, I know you guys were surprised, but, I like surprises." And he pretty much leaves after that. We don't see him after that, but that was just, he was pretty much there to make the stipulation. And that's why I think it might end at Survivor Series. I have a feeling that...
I mean, a few things that I noticed. A, trotting Vince out just to promote the network was, I thought, a pathetic and desperate attempt to promote the network. B, Vince did a solid job of actually promoting and making me personally excited for the main event of this pay-per-view with this announcement. C, why does Team Cena not have a stipulation? Did you think of that one?
True. That is true.
That's what really confuses me. Why is it all or nothing for Hunter, but Team Cena doesn't have a stipulation? That just, I thought, from a logic standpoint.
Maybe he should lose his title match against Brock or something like that.
There you go. Perfect. I like that. I wouldn't have even thought of that, but that's a great suggestion.
Me and you need to be on the creative team. I'm telling you, head creative team right here.
I would have said made him turn heel or something, but that's an even better stipulation. Make him lose his title shot. I mean, the stake should be high on both ends, and who's to say they won't be? Maybe the only reason they didn't do it because John Cena was not on Raw, or maybe he was promoting a movie, whatever reason he was not on Raw this week. So maybe that's the only reason why they didn't adjust that. But I found that a bit strange that they made this big stipulation for Triple H's Team Authority, but John Cena, it doesn't matter if he loses, there's nothing up for grabs for him. So, I don't know. I just thought that was a flaw in their logic. Great to see Vince, certainly looking a little older, especially around the neck area. He's starting to get the old man neck wrinkles. But overall, and then, putting over Dean Ambrose in front of the Authority, certainly kind of playing up the babyface kind of role. It was quite interesting, and I'm surprised Triple H and Steph didn't say, "Oh, we can't wait till the old man dies, so we don't have to worry about this." Because that's how it came off to me, anyway.
I mean, Triple H had a few smart-ass remarks to him. He said, anything that you do doesn't surprise me and everything like that. I know he said that, but...
That was a good line. I will say, Brad Maddox resurfacing on the app is interesting, but I don't believe he will be the new GM. I don't know if that's best for business. In fact, I'm awfully sick of the heel GMs. If they're gonna bring back a GM role, I wouldn't hate it if they don't. But if they are gonna bring back a Raw SmackDown GM, don't do Vicky or Teddy Long or Brad Maddox. Do Sting or something different. That would be a heck of a way to introduce Sting, make him the GM for a while. So that's kind of how I would go about it. Something different. I wouldn't make it Hulk Hogan. I wouldn't make it Mick Foley.
I think I'd rather deal with anybody else but Hogan being the GM. Oh, God, that would be horrible.
I like the idea of Sting. I think Sting could work. Angle could be a one. He's our own thing.
Yeah. Alrighty. Dean Ambrose versus Antonio Cesaro. And they've had, obviously, their couple matches lately. And Dean Ambrose wins again, cleanly. And Bray Wyatt is obviously watching, halfway through the match and everything. And he's, making eye contact. And after Dean won, he disappears, obviously, and there's just a rocking chair. And that's pretty much that all happens with Dean and Bray. I'm not really sure if they're going to be on their Survivor Series now. I think they're just going to have a match. I have a feeling it's just going to be a match. I know some people are like, Dean's going to be on John Cena's team. I don't think so. I think this is going to just be a match.
I mean, you think about it, you're going to need some one-on-one matches to help sell this card along with the big 5-on-5 main event. So I feel like that's a big match you can sell along with the 5-on-5.
Yeah. And we obviously seen Eric Rowan and Luke Harper are completely, all three of them are alone now. They're doing their own thing. So it's kind of interesting that they're all still in kind of their same roles. They really haven't changed too much in character, but they just kind of separated. They're just kind of going their own. It'll be interesting with them.
Huh?
I said it'll be interesting to see what they do with them.
Oh, I was gonna say, was Luke on this show? I saw Eric Rowan on the show. I didn't see Luke.
Luke did a promo with like eyes and stuff like that, and he like talked and stuff like that. The eye promo. I don't know if you've seen the eye promo.
I must have been flipping back and forth from the football game at that point and missed that. But
Like
Eric Rowan's. I thought Eric Rowan's was pretty stupid. I'm not gonna lie. The going up to Renee like, oh, you're pretty.
Because her boyfriend is feuding with Bray Wyatt, and I was just like, couldn't they just make the Wyatt family together just for this? Just because it would be so perfect if he's actually they involve like Renee Young in this. I just think it would be so funny. I really do. I like that.
I kind of hoped Eric Rowan would be a little bit different, like lose the sheet mask, and like now clearly they're just gonna make him this like almost like the new Festus, like this like dumb idiot fella. You're pretty here. The guy from the Goonies.
I mean, it'll be interesting if he sticks to it, like if he does some creepy stuff with her and if he just sticks to her and stuff like that. I mean, we'll have to just see where it goes. I mean, it can be kind of almost like a Samuel Shaw and Christy Hemme thing, maybe. I don't know. It might be interesting. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm kind of interested to see where it goes, though. Because, I mean,
good reference.
To obviously do something because he obviously lacks for his mic skills and stuff. So maybe this will help him off, this little love storyline. I don't know if you would even call it a love storyline. Something like this would actually help him, you know. Maybe just kind of get his foot into the door and just see, obviously.
To me,
it's a decent start for him, you know. It's nothing too horrible.
I don't know. To me, it's just setting up to look like another Gene Snitsky or Mike Knox, like big dullard kind of guy. Like I'm not surprised he's not saying it's not my fault. Like I don't know. I have all the hope in the world that Luke Harper is going to be a big star. I wouldn't be shocked if Eric Rowan's released in the next 6 months, and that's a sad statement considering how awesome the Wyatt family were. But that's just my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, I mean, me and you always said that obviously Eric Rowan is the weakest one of the Wyatt family, so. Obviously, if this doesn't work out, it wouldn't really surprise me, but we'll see. We'll see. I have faith in him. I'll support him in this. We'll see where it goes.
I just think he needs to do acting. Like, give him a fresh start and make him look semi-intelligent. Don't make him look like this big dullard because that's not going to help his cause.
None of them changed. I thought that was kind of crazy. They all split up, and they gave none of them a different character change. I'm just like, I feel like this would be the time to give them a character change. That's just my opinion.
Yep. Hold on, I got a phone call. I'll be back.
That's fine. Alrighty. But yeah, I do think that this storyline could, if he focuses with Renee Young, I did think it was interesting. I thought it was funny. Obviously, because Bray Wyatt's feuding with her boyfriend right now in real life, I just thought it was funny. Because that's the first thing I thought of, and I just thought it was funny. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Alrighty. The Authority backstage. They're pretty much talking about the strongest Survivor Series team, and they're talking about how they need to up their game and they need to make this the best Survivor Series team ever because of what is on the line. And so Triple H is calling Randy Orton, and Stephanie's like, oh, what are you doing, And he goes, I'm calling Randy Orton. We need Randy Orton. And she goes, oh, he's not a team player. He RKO'd our captain Seth and everything like that. And he goes, I know, but we need him right now. We need to get past that. We need him right now. So obviously he calls him, and so it was interesting though. But obviously, this
funny.
Is a 5 versus 5 traditional Survivor Series match. I did find that out, but yeah. Now that Randy Orton 2 is not going to be. I mean, I guess I can talk about this later, but I might as well say it right now. Randy Orton is not going to be at Survivor Series. He's got written off for a movie. He's going to start filming. I think, 11th. Yeah, they're playing an injury thing.
So, the finish was designed to write him off for a while.
Yeah, I think they said he's going to be back in December by TLC and everything like that. I think he might be back. He could be back by Survivor Series, but they said like he's not going to be in the match. Like he's not going to be on Team Cena.
Interesting. I did not know that. That's an interesting development.
Yep. Those were the rumors. But yeah, I don't know what kind of movie he's filming, but they did say it was supposed to start the 11th. So we will see. Alrighty, and now it looks like we lost Joe again. His phone's ringing off the hook. Alrighty, Jimmy Uso versus The Miz. I'm gonna talk more about The Miz and The Mizdout later because it seems like they possibly could be turning babyface. I mean, I wouldn't really say babyface, but it was kind of interesting seeing them what they do later on tonight. But we'll talk more about that during the match, obviously. But The Miz wins after a distraction. So, and the Usos, I'm not really sure what's going on with them, but yeah, Miz and Mizdow seem to be getting a lot of obviously pops and stuff, obviously, from Mizdow. So, and they obviously are lacking in baby faces for tag teams. So, I mean, why not? And especially what happened, with them and Stardust and Goldust. Why not turn them face? They're obviously getting cheered. I think it would be awesome, to tell you the truth.
At least Sandow's getting cheered. I'm not trying to hate on Miz. I love Miz, but Sandow's getting cheers. I don't know if Miz.
Well, that's what I said. I said that they're getting cheered, but I said it was obviously Sandow. But I said that they can still turn them face, obviously, because they're getting pops.
They could. I mean, with Miz, I just think Miz is so squirrely. Just makes a better natural heel than a face. Just personal opinion on Miz. But I would love to see them get the tag straps. I'm a little sick of Golden Stardust or Goldust and Stardust. I don't know why Goldust lost part of his first name when they announced the tag team, but whatever. But, like you mentioned, the Matadors getting in there, not so much. It clearly shows that they're lacking in
random clips. They're winning matches for no reason, and I don't get it. It's ridiculous.
Well, I could see them maybe doing like a 4-on-4, maybe. I don't even know how they build it. Maybe the Usos and Miz or the Usos and the Matadors versus Golden Stardust and Mizdow and Miz maybe in a 4-on-4 at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, it just seems random.
It's like a fatal 4-way for the tag team titles. I know this Friday it's going to be the Usos versus Goldust and Stardust in a rematch for the titles in a steel cage.
Match, yeah.
And I think the Usos, I think this should be their last shot. I'm not trying to be mean. I mean, I love the Usos and everything like that, but the feud's been gone and it needs to end. It's not even, they're not doing any promos. They're just having random matches now. And no. It needs to end. That's just my opinion, though.
I agree.
Alrighty.
I heard on the Don Shoney show when they, instead of going, oos, oh, the audience should go, what? Because the Usos are, oh, so what at this point? Ooh, so!
Yeah, I don't know. It's just they're just having random matches and they're acting like they're still in the tag team title picture, and it's not good. And I feel bad for them because it's just boring. The whole tag team division right now is just boring, and it's just, it's horrible. It's bad. They need to do something.
No, I agree. Every time it seems like the tag team division has momentum, it falls apart. It seems cursed.
Yeah. And it was so good back in the day when I was watching when I was 9 and 10 years old with Edge and Chris Benoit and Eddie and Chavo. It was so good. All these good tag teams, just great. Loved it.
By the way, speaking of 90s tag teams, big shout out to the APA, Farouk and Bradshaw. Met them at Providence Comic Con over the weekend. Yeah, awesome.
I forgot to ask you about that. Sheamus versus Tyson Kidd. Tyson Kidd actually won. I was actually shocked. Obviously, probably to get Sheamus ready for that match. Obviously, for the network, just to get him fired up. And he obviously won after a distraction with the whole Natalia thing. And that's what's so funny, too, since they say, their characters, even Cameron said that, she's playing a new character and everything, too, so she obviously knows, that she's not, well, she still is a bitch in real life, too, so I don't even get why she's going to say character. But it's just like, so why do they have to, if they are saying that they're in character, why do they have to make that everything, happen, in storyline, why does it have to happen in the show? Like with the Bella twins, with Tyson and Natty, why the hell does that have to happen even though it's happening on the show? Just to make it look more real even though we know they're in character? Because you obviously said it was in character. I just think that's ridiculous and so stupid. It just doesn't even make sense.
It's overthinking at its finest, and like they're trying to correlate with the Total Divas and piggyback off the ratings that Total Divas continues to get. Gotta give them credit. They're still getting decent ratings on the E! Network, which is why they keep getting renewed for new seasons, and obviously keep adding cast members, too. It's to the point where the whole Divas locker room, not named AJ Lee, is part of Total Divas at this point. So, they try to correlate it.
Every single person will be on there, pretty much.
Yeah, they try to hold
trying to get to make more people watch it. I have a feeling that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it was interesting. Dolph Ziggler comes out. This was actually a good segment too. And then the Authority comes out, and they talk about, Dolph Ziggler joining Team John Cena and what he's going to get out of this. They say, what's going to happen if you lose? John Cena's going to blame you. It's certainly not going to be his fault. And I thought that was funny. And they said, what's going to happen if you win? You're not going to get the credit. And he talks about how he's, one of the hardest workers, and that he, believes in him and everything like that, and that anything you do, pretty much, it's not going to be good enough for Cena. And he says pretty much like, if you call up Cena and tell him no, that you're not going to join his team, I'll give you anything you want. And that was pretty much the whole scenario backstage. Every single person they went to, they were giving them favors for being on their team. I just thought that was so stupid. And Dolph's just like, what I want is I want you guys out of power for good. And so he's obviously says he's going to still be on Team Cena. And so Triple H says that he is going to defend his title against Seth Rollins. I seriously thought that Seth was going to win. I was seriously marking out. I was like, why are they? Because, I mean, there's been plenty of people that have had the briefcase and, like, a mid-card title at the same time. So I actually thought that this was a really great title for him, obviously, because he's only had, the tag team titles and then I guess NXT, if you want to count NXT title. But, he hasn't had a singles title, yet, so since he's been in WWE. So they have the match, obviously, and Seth was obviously about ready to win. He did the curb stomp, and Randy Orton came out of nowhere and RKO'd him. And it pissed me off, even though I love Randy Orton. I was just screaming at the TV because I was just like, seriously? I was just like, you. But, I mean, it was good for Dolph, too, because Dolph really hasn't had the title for that long. And he needs it more than Seth, obviously, right now. Seth is so strong. He doesn't need the title. Seth obviously is on top of the world right now. At least in my opinion, he really is. I'm not trying to be sarcastic or gloat or anything, but he really is for what he's been doing. And obviously Dolph retains because it's even though Seth technically won from a DQ, Dolph obviously retains his title. So it was a good match and everything. I was just I wasn't completely shocked because of the whole Dolph Ziggler. Like I said, he needs it more. So it wasn't like a bad thing because I do like Dolph Ziggler and I do think he deserves it more. So I just think it would have been nice for him to have a title while he was waiting for the big one.
I mean, it would have been cool. I mean, let's not forget, we saw a United States title change, so. And it seemed like we were convinced we were going to get that with them shoving the network title change possibility down our throat. So I kind of figured it wasn't. But I was nervous for Zig And like, I definitely thought there was a chance that Seth could walk out with both the Intercontinental Championship and the Money in the Bank briefcase. So, but hey, they made us believe it, and like, so it was good storytelling from that aspect. I'll give it thumbs up for the segment.
Yeah. Authority backstage. Randy was thinking about joining Team Xena because obviously the Authority did not take care of Seth, and he says, if you don't give me Seth tonight, well, I'll join Team Xena so then I can fight him, you know. And Triple H says that he'll give him his match, but he says after this is over, whoever wins, you both pat each other on the back, and it's over, you know. He's just like, I need both of you on the same page, so after you guys, you know, have your little match tonight, it needs to end, obviously, for good. And Randy agrees, and he says, okay, and so then obviously Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton for the main event is made.
Solid main event,
obviously, certainly. Everyone's seen a face turn coming tonight. Obviously, no one's seen, them getting on the same page. Obviously, they teased it for a little bit at the end, but obviously we knew Randy was obviously not going to just let that go away, and he was obviously going to turn babyface.
Yeah, and it was well done. I am surprised with the news you told me earlier in this show that Randy's going to be missing Survivor Series, especially considering the fact that it's in St. Louis. I thought.
I know. I did think that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just a really good website, though. I mean, it has its cage side seats. I think that's what it's called. I have it bookmarked, but every single rumor they have given me has been 99.9% true. So
they've been on point. I go there too sometimes.
Because they go backstage, they have people that actually like know what's going on and stuff like that. They don't just give they actually give what's going on with they even gave stuff but what's happening with CM Punk and obviously the whole thing. And I guess supposedly CM Punk made up with WWE long enough for them to release the game. So there's that. But yeah,
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I didn't even know he was filming a movie. That's what was so surprising to me. But I guess it's not a major role. It's kind of like a Dean Ambrose, he's only going to be gone for a month. So
it's The Condemned 2. It's a sequel to Steve Austin's movie, The Condemned, back 10 years ago, which I actually enjoyed that first movie.
Interesting.
Yep.
Well, I mean, Randy, I kind of like Randy Orton's movies, so we'll see how good it is. Alrighty. This is something I definitely want to talk about because I don't know if you noticed it, but I definitely have noticed it. Titus O'Neil versus Ryback. Looks like Slater Gator is gone. Heath Slater has not been with Titus O'Neil, and he has not been at ringside. So they just, again, they didn't even know storyline included. And what was the whole thing with the bunny rabbit being Darren Young, too? They were supposed to make that, and Adam Rose went bye-bye. And obviously that makes me happy, but still. I feel like, obviously, I think what would make people happy is if Darren Young returned and they put the primetime players back together. That would be awesome. I really do. I think that would be really good for the tag team.
I feel like they just got to do a singles program, and maybe that's why they broke the Slater Gator up. Darren Young still needs to get that ultimate retribution on Titus O'Neil, and I think he's gonna come back. I saw his comeback video. He looks different. He looks more serious, which I think is really gonna help him. He's got a goatee now. He's kind of got a different presentation, and I think that Darren Young's got a chance to be a decent, maybe a mid-card champion, and I think it's going to start with a one-on-one matchup with Titus. And Titus has also been down in NXT doing stuff, so all kinds of weird stuff that doesn't even make sense.
I really, to tell you the truth, I thought Heath Slater and Titus O'Neil was not a good tag team together. I just thought it was just a little too weird, too different, and I just feel like they were just pairing them up just to pair them up, and I just didn't think it made sense. So that's my opinion. But Ryback won in a squash match. It was really funny because me and my brother were talking a little bit about that exclusive video last week with Ryback, and we were like pretty much saying he was almost like crying, like it was almost like his personal, like his real personality. Like he was like he knew the whole stuff on Twitter, which was like horrible, and he was actually in real mode right there. And they said too, I read about why they turned him face. I guess they said they turned him face because they're lacklustering in faces right now, because all their big faces are gone right now. They're obviously hurt or something's going on, and that's true too. So
you throw Randy Orton in there, the down 3 top baby faces. So it's a good time for Ryback to come up.
Yep. Alrighty. Renee interviews the Big Show, and Big Show talks about how he says that he's going to be on Xena's team if Xena needs obviously, and now that Mark Henry is going to be on Team Authority, obviously Big Show's going to be on Team Xena. And he says he feels betrayed by Mark Henry. I'm glad they're not like putting the whole crying thing into this. I'm just like, please don't do the whole crying thing. Because I love Big Show. I really am. I'm a huge fan. And I talked about this too. You know how he used to be my favorite wrestler. Soon before I even like started watching wrestling, I would just glance at it and be like, oh, that's Big Show. I love Big Show. You know, he's my favorite. You know, so I always had a soft spot for Big Show. But he talks about how he's being betrayed by Mark Henry and how him and Mark Henry are supposed to be best friends and how Mark Henry just turned on him and blah blah blah. And this leads into the match. And the Authority was obviously watching backstage. They were watching with the Ryback match, too, which was kind of weird because I don't know if they were thinking that Ryback was going to be on their team or what. I guess it was more like Titus O'Neil was supposed to be on their team. But
no chance.
And it ended in a DQ anyways because Mark Henry used to steal steps, and the Authority obviously said they were interested in Mark Henry, and they told Kane to go talk to him and ask him what he wanted. So obviously we can pretty much say that Big Show is going to be on Team Xena and Mark Henry is going to be on Team Authority.
Solid bet right there, I'd say so.
Yeah, they're pretty much what they're doing is they're putting like the baby feuds right now, and they're kind of like separating them into each team. So obviously,
I still feel like there's a chance we get Triple H and The Rock on these teams. And I tell you what, if you're Triple H and your job's on the line, the Triple H that I've known and followed for 20 years, you want something done right, you do it yourself, especially with Randy Orton's dissension. I'm shocked that Triple H has not inserted himself in this match yet, especially with the stakes so high, and would not be shocked if he does insert himself in this match. Because you figure Kane... there's probably one spot left. We figure Kane, Seth Rollins, Rusev, probably, most likely.
And Mark Henry, yeah.
So that would be one spot left, and I think Triple H will get that spot. You want something done right, you do it yourself. And maybe that could give rise to The Rock being the other guy, because you figure on Team Cena, you would have Ziggler, Cena, as you mentioned, most likely Joe. And that would leave 2 spots, so maybe The Rock could be one of those spots, and maybe Ryback. I've heard Ryback.
Yeah, Ryback, that's probably what it's going to be. And that's why Randy probably wasn't going to be on that team, so.
Yep. Wrestling Throwdown here live on YouTube. Talking wrestling, and that's what we do here live with Haley Imes and Joe Passarelli, talking a little Raw results. Raw and uncut live review as only the Wrestling Throwdown can do it. And certainly we saw a lot of storyline featherment, and obviously we saw a Big Show get destroyed by Mark Henry there. You know, that's what he do. That's certainly what he do. We also saw Zack Ryder, who tweeted at John Cena that he is available to be on Team Cena. I don't think that'll happen. I actually have a semi-competitive match against Rusev. Rusev gets him in the camel clutch, obviously getting ready for the big matchup with Sheamus, which was exclusively on the WWE Network for free. So that was what they were hyping, the big United States Championship match. And you saw the Authority go to Rusev afterwards and say, hey, we gave you what you wanted. you wanted a United States Championship match, and Stephanie McMahon and Triple H were heavily courting Rusev to be part of this team, and Rusev and Lana essentially said they need to go
Hey guys, so sorry about that. Oh, my computer is driving me insane right now. And now I got to get Joe back, so sorry about that. I don't know why it always cuts us both out either, too, when mine goes on. I guess it's because I started, so it's kind of stupid, though. Okay, so like I was saying before it cut out on me, speaking of the Ascension, supposedly, like how Raw always does, I read for rumors, supposedly they did the whole script at the last minute again. It does not surprise me because they've been doing that for the past few weeks. I'm not really sure what's up with that. I don't know if like Vince looks at it or if Triple H looks at it and he just doesn't like the script and they just decide to just change it at the last minute, like the creative team, thinks of something and then they show it to Vince or something like that and they go, no, we're going to scrap this off. Oh, no, we're not going to have this. I'll do this and stuff like that. It's just ridiculous. And obviously, I don't know, it's just crazy. But the Ascension obviously was supposed to be on Raw last night. And they weren't, obviously. They were backstage and they were going to use them. And obviously they didn't. They were supposed to make their debut last night. And obviously they're not with the Wyatts. Obviously everyone's going to be their own person now. So I thought that was kind of interesting that, they were going to make their debut. But then they just decided to squash it. But then they put all these random matches in here. And it's just like I would have rather seen their debut if, I would have rather seen their debut than these stupid matches because it's just ridiculous. Joe says he'll be back in a few minutes. He's doing something right now, so I guess I'll just continue. Alrighty. Renee's interviewing Brie, and Nikki obviously tells her no, she can't do an interview, and she has a match, so let's go and everything. And then obviously we kind of already talked about this a little bit earlier with the Eric Rowan thing. Eric Rowan came up from behind Renee and he touched her hair and he said pretty. And Renee thanks him and she leaves in a hurry. She's freaked out, obviously. So we'll see where that goes. Not too much to say there. And then obviously it goes into Nikki Bella versus Emma. And again, too, AJ Lee is at ringside. And she just turned her back on Emma a few weeks ago. But yet Emma still acts like she does not know. Like she's completely throwing that away like nothing even happened. I just think that's kind of stupid. Because it's just like you're going to have someone, turn on you and everything like that, leave you, and you're just going to let it go. You're not going to confront her or anything like that. I just think that's so stupid. And it's just I get that they're both faces, even though AJ Lee is a horrible face. It's just turn her heel because she doesn't act like a face. She really just doesn't. She's not a face. I mean, maybe she was a face in the beginning, but now, since she's been heel, she can't do the face thing anymore. With her whole character thing, with her being crazy, she just can't do the face thing. And so the whole Emma thing and AJ thing, I just think it's funny how they just completely throw that aside, and Emma's just completely fine with AJ Lee turning on her. I just think that's so funny. But Nikki Bella won, and she then tells Brie to go and slap AJ, and Brie does that, and then AJ Lee attacks Brie and then runs in the ring and tries to go after Nikki, and Nikki leaves the ring in a hurry, and that was pretty much that. But, Joe, isn't that stupid, though, with the whole Emma thing? AJ at ringside and Emma's just completely, going past of what AJ Lee did to her a few weeks ago?
It pisses me off when they let little elements of psychology like that. It's bad writing for any television show. If you're watching The Walking Dead and some guy backstabs another guy, and then the next week they're next to each other, they make no reference to it whatsoever. That's bad storytelling from Hollywood, wrestling, entertainment, you name it. So it's bad when they miss little things like this. And obviously that whole turn on Emma thing, it's like it never happened. And, they're building towards the Nikki Bella versus... even I feel like Emma and AJ Lee, they could do the female version of the Rock and Sock Connection with that, or almost like how they've been doing on NXT, having her team up with people. Like, I feel like they could kind of do something like that, and they missed the boat doing that. They should have never even done that. I understand her doing it to Layla, because Layla was a heel, and she's kind of comedic fodder at this point anyway, in this point of her career. So, but, like, yeah, it's just, you have this young character in Emma who's having such a hard time getting her legs under her on the main roster with the whole Walmart issue and everything else that's happened with her, and they just, it's stupid.
Yeah, I don't think she's won a match yet. Has she won a match yet since this happened? I seriously should look that up for statistics. I don't think she has. And
I've seen she hasn't. Maybe there was one on Main Event we missed, but from what that's as I've seen, she hasn't.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, I haven't even heard her music in a while.
Yeah, they won't let her have an entrance or anything.
Yeah, I want to see her.
Really punishing her bad. It's just like, okay, since we're still letting you on the roster, we're gonna like punish you until you've had enough. And it's just like, oh, it's just like, when is enough gonna be enough? I mean, I feel like she's learned her lesson, you know.
She's gonna become the female Zack Ryder.
Yeah, and the whole thing too with that is she still says, you know, Emma's story is that she just forgot to pay for it. So we don't really know if that's true or not, but I feel like the whole punishment thing is just kind of a little bit ridiculous. It's to a point where it needs to like stop. I feel like
it might send her back down to NXT if this was going to be.
Yeah.
They debut her with Santino, try to build her up. He retires abruptly, which I actually thought would help her because it would let her stand on her own. Then the Walmart thing happened. It's just like, let the young talent try to get over. You're gonna cut her legs out from under her before she even has a chance to. Golly.
And I'm a huge fan of Emma too. I think she's her and Paige. I really liked both of them in NXT. Obviously, they were my favorites. So we'll see. Who knows?
No doubt about it.
Rusev versus Zack Ryder. I've been noticing Zack Ryder's been having a few matches lately. Have you noticed that? I mean, he's been losing, but he's obviously been having a few matches. I'm not sure if they're kind of getting him back into like the whole jobber card or what. It's kind of interesting.
Back on television. It's funny. He actually took him and Dolph took over the JBL show a few weeks ago and had episode 101 of Z True Long Island Story before JBL took over the show from them. So they've been slowly but surely trying to give Zack a little bit more respect. Last week he was one of the many guys who came out at the end of Raw, and you know, he actually had a semi-competitive match against Rusev. It wasn't as bad as some of the burials. You know, he got the Brewski boot in there, he got a few spots in there. So I thought it was a decent showing for the Z-Man. Can't complain.
Yeah, and Rusev obviously squashed him, but it was still interesting to see him. And Sheamus came out and he says that he's in for the fight of his life, obviously, and Sheamus isn't gonna, you know, give him the title and everything like that, and he's not gonna let him take this United States title back to Russia. So
I thought Sheamus's promo was pretty weak. I'm not gonna lie.
Sheamus, I just don't like Sheamus, period. I really don't. Like, I've tried and I've tried to like him, but it's hard now. It's just, I don't even know. And he either needs, like, a character change or something. Like, I don't know what he needs. Like, and I mean, a heel turn would help, but I don't even know if a heel turn would get me to, like, actually be interested in him again. Because it's just... I was
advocating for it, but I don't even think it's going to happen at this point. And even with Randy leaving the Authority, there's a hole there, but I don't see it.
Yeah. Stephanie, backstage, she asks Rusev if he will join Team Authority, and Lana says they will get back to her, so we will see. Because they gave them their United States title match. So, and I guess we can talk about this right now, since this is the end of their thing. Obviously,
well, we must confer with Putin and bring the United States Championship back to Putin.
They obviously had a match on WWE Network for the United States title. And me and Paul were talking about this, too. I was actually kind of shocked that, well, I wasn't, like, shocked because they have been saying that it was free, and since they're pushing people, since obviously there was a title change and Rusev is the new United States champion, they're pushing it so people can obviously buy it now, because they're like, oh shoot, there was a title change on the network. Oh, now I got to get the network because, obviously, and that was the whole thing of it. Because usually it doesn't change unless it's on live TV or something like that. Because it's only happened, there's only been a very few title changes that's happened at like live events and stuff like that. So, because usually if a title change, they'll usually have a rematch and then they'll win it back. So the person will win it back.
If you go back to the 90s and early 2000s, there was a few times. Edge actually won his first Intercontinental title from Jeff Jarrett at a house show. And, there's a few that happen, but it's rare that, you get a title change on a non-televised or just a bonus WWE Network kind of match. And you hit the nail on the head, Haley. They did this to try to boost it, to give the believability that anything can happen on the WWE Network. Oh, shit, I missed the U.S. title. Rusev won the U.S. Fuck, I got to get the network. So that was really the side.
And I have the network. I actually didn't watch it. I heard from Paul that he won, but I mean, it didn't shock me that he won. I mean, I was kind of telling Paul too, that I was kind of like, I don't think it's going to happen, but then I kind of thought about it because he made some good points. He goes, yeah, true, but this is the network. Obviously it's free and everything, so, and this is the first time they're having it, so I'm just like, yeah, that is true. They would do something like that.
How desperate, though, Haley? How desperate are they coming off with this whole network thing? I mean, the recent financial numbers were released, and obviously they're not where they want to be, and I believe, 258,000 people unsubscribe, so they're not having the, now, a free month of it, giving Survivor Series away for free, trotting out Vince, out of the production truck just to essentially pimp the network, and then obviously, up the stakes for the Survivor Series match. I thought Vince did an excellent job of that. But just overall, I thought, not that they crammed $9.99 down our throat all night, but I thought their efforts were really desperate, in light of the latest financial numbers, and they could be futile if they don't get their act in order.
Yeah, it's just the whole network thing. I don't know. I love the network. I have it and everything like that, but it's just like, I mean, what's next? Since they've been doing it for free, they're giving like their second longest pay-per-view for free away for free. I mean, what else can they do after this? Like, really, I would love to see what the heck they're gonna do after this if they still can't get ratings. And it's also like they haven't had it in every single country yet, too. So they have to take that in perspective. I know they want their numbers up higher, but, I feel like, what if there's way more people in other countries that are going to subscribe, and that's going to obviously push their numbers up. I would feel like I wouldn't get worried until all the countries obviously have the network and the numbers are still low. I wouldn't get worried until that.
It's starting to get there, though. It's released in England. It's released in most of Europe. It's starting to get to the countries. I think it's released in Australia. Those are your international wrestling hotbeds. I mean, I don't think it's out in Japan. Maybe Japan will spike numbers. I think it's out in China. I mean, maybe it is out in Japan because, with them pushing Kenta.
There was one that I think they said that they're going to, I don't know what country it was. They said that they're going to postpone, I guess, for a little bit later because I guess they were having problems or something with it. I don't know. It was a rumor. I'll get back to you guys on that, but I forgot what country it was. They said something like they have to postpone it now. So, and I guess I don't know if it was a bigger country or what, but we'll see. I still feel like they shouldn't freak out until it's all done and said and done. And I mean, because it's still fairly new too, and again, like not everybody has these systems. I don't think it's a money issue. I think it's more of a system issue. Because I mean, because I know a lot of people that want it, but they're like, I don't have, an Xbox or a PlayStation or anything like that, but they have the money for it. And it's just like, and they can't get it. And
it's a content issue. I'm sure it's great, and having NXT on there is great, and additional live stuff and all of that, the pay-per-views. But I feel like, they've only put Nitro, from what I've heard, up to 1996. They've barely put any of the old Raws, I think up to, 94, and 93, 94, 95 was their shittiest time for Raw. That was really not good Raw programming. So the only Raws they put up from old Raws are kind of the shitty ones. They don't really have AWA, the ECW stuff's limited. So I think that's turned off a lot of fans. And then they're shoving the Attitude Era down our throat. It's like the Attitude Era is the only thing that mattered, and we're going to ignore every fucking thing else that ever happened in the history of wrestling. Like, the Attitude Era was huge, but it's not the only thing that happened. They're doing a gazillion-part series on the Attitude Era. Like, Chris Jericho got a segment. Everybody's getting theirs. I'm surprised they're not going to do a whole... They did one on the Cruiserweights. Now they're going to do one for each individual Cruiserweight. Like, what's next? Juventud Guerrera going to get a half-hour special? I mean, it's getting a little too much on the Monday Night Wars and the Attitude Era, if you ask me. And they need to put out more Nitros, more, get the WCW Thunders, get the SmackDowns, and old house shows, too. They don't have barely any house shows, and that's the stuff that people really want to see, stuff that's never been on television, stuff from Madison Square Garden. So they're slacking on that regard, and they're barely updating it, but they'll put on Total Divas, which you can watch on the E! Network anyway.
And that's not even updated either. They don't even have, I don't even think they have the whole season 1 yet up there. So it's
really?
Like, even putting the newer episodes up there, so it's just a waste. And that's why I had to find another website, Project Free TV. That's actually a really good website to watch shows on the online. But yeah, that's where I watch my Total Divas, because I can never remember it on the network or anything else. I can never remember when it's on. I mean, I know when it's on, but then I'll just like look at the TV and it'll be like way later, so I'm just like, oh, whatever. But,
or for pay-per-view, and you'll do the pay-per-view and all that, but like, you don't want to watch Total Divas after watching a 3-hour pay-per-view.
Stardust versus Fernando. The Miz and Miz are at ringside and they want the titles. I thought that was interesting that they're finally, and they kind of get, in the faces of, obviously, Stardust and Goldust, and they kind of obviously start a little feud with them and everything like that. So I thought it was interesting. And so pretty much, I don't know if this is going to be like a triple threat thing for the tag teams, like the Los Matadores. I have a feeling it's going to be a fatal 4-way, though, with the Usos, Los Matadores, which is why I don't know why they're getting a push all of a sudden. They were like nowhere, and now all of a sudden they're like winning all these matches, and I'm just like, what's up with that?
They're desperate for pay-per-view tag teams. We said it before, especially with them splitting up the Shield and the Wyatts. It's really exposed the tag team division when you think about it.
Yeah, that's why they need the Ascension. They were supposed to make their debut last night, and I talked about that too while you were gone. But I seriously, that pisses me off that they didn't debut. They technically already debuted it, and then I thought that was their debut. It was on Main Event that one day, and then they just completely killed it, and you did not see them again. So I was just like, what the hell was that? Was that just some random thing?
It's like the faction with Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. It's like we never saw it.
Yeah. And obviously, we already talked about the steel cage. Obviously, this Friday with the Usos versus Stardust and Goldust. And hopefully that's it with the Usos and the Stardust and Goldust feud. Even if they do the Fatal 4-Way too, then that needs to be it, because it's just it's getting overdone. It just needs to be done. As much as I love the Usos, just no, you need to stop.
Yeah. It's almost like they need a break.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm telling you, Dudleys, we're getting them.
I swear, though, if they break the Usos off, if they do the whole brother versus brother thing for this, like they've done with the whole, I'm seriously going to hurt somebody. Because it's just this is one tag that you do not need to break up.
I think maybe in 2 or 3 years, but not now, especially on the heels of just doing it with the Bellas.
I really don't think, who do you think would survive alone? I mean, I know you thought one of them was better than the other.
That's Jimmy, right? Naomi's husband. He's more vocal. I think he's the bigger.
Yeah.
I think He's the more.
I have noticed that he is a little bit more, but still, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel bad for poor Jay because I feel like they're like a way better tag team. I just feel like, I don't know.
Tag team be broken up. I agree with you.
So,
Not like we got an Edge and Christian, or even the Hardy Boys, where you knew Jeff Hardy was going to be a star.
yeah. Well, Edge and Christian was fine too because they messed up on Christian. They could have made him a main eventer, but they just messed up. And obviously he kept getting hurt too, so that was technically a little bit half and half, I guess. But Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins for the main event. And the Authority was at ringside. Seth won cleanly, and I was in shock. Like, I seriously was.
Move, so it was weird.
It was a roll up and everything like that. It wasn't like, obviously he did the curb stomp and everything like that, but it was still, there has been a few people that have beaten Randy Orton cleanly that they haven't done anything with, though. Like Kofi Kingston is obviously the one that is right off the bat. But I still feel like this is like really going to help Seth obviously get a clean victory on him. And, obviously this was just for Randy Orton to turn babyface. Obviously, Seth, he kind of, he gives everyone a handshake. Randy Orton gives everyone a handshake, and he kind of looks at Seth, and Seth goes, I'll be the bigger man. I'm sorry, I'm sorry that this all happened and everything like that, and I'm sorry. And, he held on his hand, and Randy shakes it, and they hug and everything like that, and, they smile and pat each other on the back, and then Randy Orton goes, I'm sorry, too. And obviously, I knew he was going to RKO him when he said, I'm sorry, too, because obviously that was the setup. And he starts attacking everybody, Kane, Jamie Noble, and Joey Mercury, obviously Seth's little bodyguards, and he gets ready to punch Seth in the head, and I was just like, there's no way that he's going to punch him in the head. And, it's funny because they made him stop doing this because he was actually hurting people and everything like that, but he still kind of shows that he's going to try and do it sometimes, and it's kind of funny. And Triple H gets obviously in the ring and says, no, this is not happening, and Randy RKO's him. Or no, he doesn't actually RKO Triple H. He actually just punches him in the face. But
yeah, he stiff shot.
Yeah. And so Seth obviously curb stomps Randy Orton's head on a table, and obviously he got busted open. And Michael Miner, I know, was talking about this on my status, if he used a razor or something like that. I don't think he did. I feel like that was actually, like, real. That looked real to me. It didn't look like no pill crushed or anything like that. That looked like it was actually like something happened.
As we said, business, he was broken open the hard way. He didn't bleed. They don't bleed anymore. They're getting sued from this guy who wrestled there 20 years ago, supposedly about hepatitis C. They don't bleed anymore. They don't do that. But I think not only did Randy Orton get busted open the hard way, I believe it was the curb stomp on the table, maybe hit a wire or one of the cords, one of those metal, something that was not taken apart right from the table, and then on the metal steps as well. But you saw Cesaro was colored pretty good as well, and they didn't stop that match either. They actually kept it going. So I actually thought it was quite interesting. We had two blood spots that usually with the blood now, they stop the match, they clean it up, the ref has the gloves, they got the towel. We didn't see that in either case. They just kind of rolled with the punches.
Oh, Randy, too. They know Randy. Randy's obviously been in the WWE for 12 years, so obviously they obviously trust him and everything like that, and he's bled
even with Cesaro and his match with Dean Ambrose.
I don't know. Maybe they're just not as I don't know. Maybe they're doing more tests randomly, more accurate. I don't know, like more recently now. Like I don't know, like more together. I guess I don't know what the word is for that, but I don't know. Who knows what's going on with that? But obviously, and then he curb stomped him on the steel stairs. Yep. And then obviously, he imitates him and everything. And this was obviously to write him off for the movie.
Yeah.
So Yeah, I do think it is kind of ridiculous that he's not going to be at Survivor Series when he's obviously that's his hometown, but he could still show up though. They just said he's not going to be in the match. I think maybe like something might happen where he might cost Team Authority the match.
That certainly could be a possibility. We shall see.
Yeah, it depends. Something might happen like that. But yeah, I definitely think that this was a really good. It was a good face turn for Randy because obviously he wasn't like I guess the word for it is a pussy. he wasn't like a joke. He didn't act like, oh, I'm gonna be, best friends with John Cena and everything like that, like, how he always acts when he's a face. He's like, he pretty much said that he wasn't gonna take any more shit, and he still had that kind of crazy side to him, but he was a face, and that's good. That's what I want him to stay with. He's not a bad face if he still sticks to, his good stuff that everyone likes to see, his Viper stuff.
Exactly. I mean, not to compare him to Steve Austin, but Steve Austin was, he was a badass face. He never, pussied up to The Rock or Mick Foley or anyone else who was a face along with him in that era. And Randy Orton, he needed to do that. He needed to show that aggression. He was really engaged with the crowd towards the end with his match with Seth. He was really getting the crowd hyped up when he was setting up for the RKO. Honestly, I thought that was the best babyface job that I've ever seen Randy Orton do in his 12-year career. He's never been a good babyface. Going from when they kicked him out of Evolution the first time, that was stale, so they turned him back heel. Obviously, the past couple of years.
I thought that was like the only good face turn, right when he got out of Evolution. I thought that's when he got the most pops. He was fresh and everything. I thought that was one of his better face turns. His recent ones, like in the 2009, 2010 ones, and obviously any other ones in the past, those were weak. But I don't know. I liked the face turn. That was the one face turn I did like after the Evolution. I thought he was strong right there.
I just didn't think they did anything with it because if memory serves me correctly, he was on SmackDown as a heel. I think he got hurt. Then he was on SmackDown as a heel, feuding with The Undertaker not soon thereafter. Not too long.
Yeah.
So that's what I meant by that. He didn't really have longevity in that face turn. Where I don't know what is going to happen. I know Randy prefers to be heel, but all in all, it seemed like he really embraced the opportunity he got to be kind of the signature babyface on last night's Raw, and I thought he did a good job with it. Very good job with it. 2 thumbs up. You're live on the Wrestling Throwdown, folks. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, sharing the videos, liking the videos. Check us out on Twitter. Join the group on Facebook, Wrestling Throwdown, over 200 members and counting. You want to join the group. Great discussion always being administered there, mostly by our host, Haley Imes. But another great edition of the Wrestling Throwdown Raw review, and certainly, Raw, it had its low points, but I was sports entertained. I'd give it an 8.5, maybe solid 8.5 out of 10. And I thought it was a really good show. Here live on the Wrestling Throwdown, only on YouTube. Y'all better keep subscribing. Subscribe to Joe Passarelli as well. Check out the Strike Zone each and every Thursday, 8 to 10 p.m. And if you're in the Rhode Island area, this Saturday, folks, Providence, Rhode Island, RICW's